going on, everybody? Welcome into Red, White, and Bills. Bills just lost another heartbreaker, another gut-wrenching loss, 33-27 in overtime. Tampa Bay, we fought a 7-6, and that was just, oh gosh, what a way to go out. It was definitely a tale of two halves. Down 24-3 at the halftime. Seems all hope is lost. I never say never because I know, I've seen a lot crazier things happen, and I believe in this team, and I know we all do. But defense played absolutely awful in the first half. They made a couple stops, but they gave up that big run play to Fournette. Evans was open every time. Godwin was having a feast. And then our O-line just couldn't find answers in the first half. Allen had to do everything he could just to even get a pass off, and it was 24-3. So we're sitting here like we need a big half in the second half for the Bills. We're gonna have to score almost every time, it seems like, the way the defense is playing. But then they only allow 3 points in the second half, and what a resilient group of guys. I don't like saying moral victories, but the fact that they were just absolutely awful in the first half and they come out and then only let up 3 points to an offense of that caliber, that showed a lot of grit, showed a lot of toughness. People say that they're soft, but a soft team would have folded. Just like Josh said in his post game, a lot of teams would have folded, and there's a lot of truth to that. Of course, we got to talk about the bad calls. If you call, that's a DPI all day on Diggs, all day. Any other team gets that call. You all seen the angles, you all seen it in game. It's just god awful calls. We got to have consistency in the officiating, and I'm not the guy that blames calls because we put ourselves in that hole. But you call that you don't call that, and then you call that play on Levi where Evans literally pulled him in purposely to get the call. Levi's hands are up. He tried turning his head. That's not a pass interference all day. If anything, it's OPI. So we need some consistency in the NFL. Even today, in the Raiders Chiefs game, Sorensen did even worse. He didn't turn his head around, and he put his hands in his face. Moreau, the tight end, and it wasn't called because for some reason, I don't know why, they always tell us in the Bills games, if you don't turn your head, it's a DPI. But Sorensen doesn't have to turn his head, and it's not one. So there needs to be accountability in the NFL officiating. I've always said this. It just comes. They take the game out of people's hands, and it's unreal. And then it's just heartbreaking. The fact that the team had the heart and the grit to come back down 21 points against the defending champs at their home field. I'm proud of that. That showed a lot of heart. That's the team I know and love. It didn't help that we were down 24-3, but the fact that they climbed back and they had a chance to win, I got to commend them for that. That's a hell of a job by them. But when it comes down to it, I said this to my friends and people that were texting me when it was 10-0 and we had the ball, 4th and goal at the 3. I said, you got to go for it here because you need touchdowns against this team. We decided to kick a field goal. Then it was 17-3. So 17-3 isn't that much different than 17-0. Luckily, McDermott kind of got bailed out there on that call. He showed his cowardice again. I hate saying that about him because he's a great coach, but this year he's been cowardly. And, luckily he got bailed out and it was a tie game. But you got to go for that. You trust your defense so much. Let the Bucs try to drive the ball 97 yards rather than kick a field goal and then give them better field position. So, and that doesn't stop there. 4th and 2 around the 50, you choose to punt. Then another 4th and short, you decide instead of keeping your offense out there, you decide to do a direct snap when there's 10 guys in the box. Oh my gosh, he's not in the hot seat in my opinion, but he's got to answer these questions. They got to ask, the media's got to ask him, Coach, what goes through your head when you decide to not keep your offense out there and run a terrible play call, and then you're scared to go for it when you need to go for it? And I said this last week in my pregame. He's aggressive when he shouldn't be, and he's not aggressive when he should be. And it basically bit us in the butt this game. But the fact that we climbed in, tied the game, and went to overtime, that's one call. A lot of people might be saying, oh, you should have went for the win there. But after we lost games like that before, I was okay with the call and going into overtime, especially when we won the toss. So it would have been great for us, but this didn't work out that way. Some of the total game stats, Terrible. Third down, we were 2 for 13. And somehow we scored 27 points. That blows my mind. You got to clean that up. It was not good. We had 466 total yards. We out first down the Bucks 27-26. So, I mean, when you look at the end game, if you just look at the first half as a whole, terrible. But when you look at the end of the game and the stats, 466 total yards, 27 first downs. That's pretty excellent. We'll go to Josh, 36 for 54, 308 yards for 66% completion, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 interception. Also had in 11 rushes for 109 yards and a touchdown. Over 400 yards, 417 yards of total offense for Josh. Like, what more could you ask for from your MVP caliber quarterback, your elite quarterback, your top 5 quarterback, your franchise quarterback? The list goes on because people are going to try to say, Josh can't lead his team. He can. Josh is that guy. We have the offensive weapons to do so. And that's why I get so frustrated when McDermott shows cowardice. You have these elite weapons. Why aren't you using them? It blows my mind. But, when you look at that 54 pass attempts, that's what I thought would keep us in this game. I know we kind of wanted to see a little bit of a rush, but, I mean, Allen's 100 yards was phenomenal. And you got Motor, 4 for 52. That was really spectacular. He had a couple great, huge runs and key times. So, yeah, he didn't get much carries. But what does he always do? He turns something into nothing. He takes every advantage of his opportunities. I thought he did a phenomenal job. And, like I said, people will look at it like, why you can't use your running backs. And unfortunately, Josh is our number 1 running back, especially behind this O-line and the way we draw up plays for the running backs. But when we're moving on, receiving, Beasley 9 for 64. He's another guy you got to get involved. And one of the adjustments I saw them make, which was great to finally see an adjustment, was when they were doing those disguise blitzes and disguise coverages, and someone was coming in off the edge or up the middle, you quickly went to Beasley, and he was always there, even if it's for a few yards. Better than hold on to the ball and get smashed like we were in the first half. 9 for 64. Davis, 5 for 43 and a touchdown, a key touchdown. It was a beautiful drive. Diggs, 7 for 74. That terrible DPI, it wasn't called. Terrible. It's absolutely awful. That would have put us at first and goal from the 1 or 2 and probably would have won the game. But nonetheless, great game from Diggs. Knox, 7 for 60 and a touchdown. Again, when we need plays on offense, these guys came through. They ended up helping Josh in the end, and what we needed last game. Outstanding, stellar performance from these receivers. We go into defense, and like I said, it's a little bit skewed because the first half they just got obliterated. But the fact that they bounced back and only gave up 3 points to Tom Brady in this offense, that showed a lot of heart. That showed a lot of determination. So I got to give it to these guys. I'm gonna start with Phillips. I thought he had another great game. 6 tackles. He had 7 tackles last game. I thought it was a career best game for him. He came out, made some great plays. Jordan Poyer, 10 tackles. Matt Milano, 9 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss. That huge play on the final drive that gave us a chance to tie the game. A huge sack. That was beautiful. We needed that. I was jumping up and down screaming. My wife screaming. Everybody screaming in the house. It was a great play. We absolutely needed that play, and he came through clutch. And then you got Dane Jackson, his first actual test game against these elite receivers. 7 tackles. He had a couple pass deflections. He had a DPI call, but I mean, like I said, it's hard when the ball's short and then the receiver comes back at it. They're going to get you sometimes, but I thought Dane did an excellent job in the absence of Trey White. And here's a tough one. Edmonds, he made a lot of great plays, 12 tackles, a pass deflection in a big spot, but that last play of the game, he just was lost out there, and that was on him, I believe. I might have to watch it again, but from the first glance, that last play was on him. I mean, that Fournette run on that last drive, I think he could have popped him harder and met him in the hole better. He kind of hit him and then went to the side and gave him that little extra juice. But again, they would have went for it anyway with Tom Brady, and he never fails a sneak. So, I mean, still, I'd like to see better pursuit on the ball. But 12 tackles and a pass deflection, Hyde with 8 tackles. Big guys making big plays. And, like I said, Taylor 2 halves. Defense played elite in the second half. We needed a couple more stops in the first half, but it could have been an ugly game. Like I said in my pregame show, it was either going to be a shootout or we could get blown out. But it was, The defense rose to the occasion after. Think about that, guys. You're down 24-3. Nothing's going your way. A lot of teams would just, oh, that's over, man. Like, I know it's hard to think you got a chance at that point, but we absolutely had a chance, and they stepped up in big plays. And then we're gonna, Bass, who was perfect on his field goals, perfect on his extra points. He's clutch always. And we gotta give some credit to Mac Hack today. I know sometimes he doesn't have the greatest punts, but 6 punts today, 4 of them were inside the 20, and the biggest one was that last punt in the first drive in overtime. We pinned him at like the 6, I believe. That was huge. And at that point, I was like, wow, we can stop him here, get the ball back, and just go for a field goal. And the cards it seemed so right. And I said the Bucs didn't deserve this win, and I say that because the fact that you were up 24-3, and then we came back and tied at 27-27. The team that wanted it more was the one that tied the game. When you're up 24-3, you got to put that game away, and we didn't give up. We matched their intensity. They have an elite front seven, and the offensive line, got to give them credit. They manned up in the second half. They had a couple bad go-arounds in the second half, but overall they bounced back. It was kind of hard to get worse from that first half, but got to give them credit too. And obviously it's still an issue. I'm not saying it's not an issue. It's still an issue, of course, but they showed grit too. And they're always a question mark. And I hate to down the guy. Well, everybody's so high on Spencer Brown, and I've said he's got a lot of work to do. He's shown great promise. He's great in the run game, but you need guys that can do both. You can't just be, oh yeah, we got Brown's good in the run game, but he can't pass block worth his salt. So he was getting eaten alive by Shaq Barrett, and I was like, this is going to be a long game. But he even played a better second half, and I know he's a rookie, but he's got a lot of work to do too. He's got great promise for this team, but overall, tough loss to handle. It seems like we're accustomed to it this year. That's 4 times now where we had the ball in the final drive, had an opportunity to win. We tied this one, but if that DPI is called, then you got 4 chances to get 2 yards. And I like our chances every time. So 33-27, tough loss in overtime to defending champs. The season's not over, guys. I know it seems glum or glim? What's the saying? But gloom and doom, rather. 7-6. We're still in the playoffs. Everyone was saying, if we lose, we'll be in the hunt. But Bengals lost, Raiders lost. So we're 7-6 at the 7th seed right now. We got it. We can't drop games. These next 4 games are huge. We still got a shot at the division. We got to beat the Patriots here, and we got to hope they lose another game. But these are all, like I said, since last game, these are all must-win games in my opinion. These are all playoff games. These are all big games, and I thought we rose to the occasion today. Obviously not in the first half, but we bounced back for sure. And the season's not over. We could finish 11-6. We could finish strong. We can get hot in the playoffs. Like I said, I don't like silver linings, but the fact that they bounce back against a great team like this, that shows that their heart's there and they never give up. And the soft mentality that people have been preaching about, I think that can go away a little bit because the soft team wouldn't have bounced back like that. So keep your heads up, Bills Mafia. It's going to be a tough road, but this is what football is all about. It's all that matters is getting hot at the right time. I preach this, and we got a big game against the Panthers coming into Buffalo. Then we got Patriots, we got Falcons, and we got Jets. We're the better team, guys. We're the better team of these guys. So we can win all these 4 games, be 11-6, and we got a good shot. And it doesn't matter what seed we are in the playoffs because all these teams have shown inconsistency this year. Yeah, the Chiefs are hot, the Patriots are hot, but they've shown struggles too. And I like our chances against everybody. Keep your heads high. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow, and I understand it's tough to watch content when we're losing and we're losing tough games, but I appreciate the love and support always on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube, of course. Share this out to everybody. Continue to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Let me know if there's certain things that you want to talk about. If you want to come on the show, hit me up in my DMs, comment on this video here. We got more content coming to you, more collabs, more live streams. I appreciate all the love, guys. Until next time, go Bills.